What up? Welcome back to the Living Levitated Scope Tube. Happy Monday to the replay viewers. Feels good to be back in this room with all you sexy bastards. What's up, Mark? You're in the house already. I see you coming in hot. We had a good weekend. Did you guys have a good weekend out there? I'm coming on today's scope to address fear and how we can overcome fear easily. How to easily overcome fear. So if you guys want some easy steps on how to overcome fear, stick around. We're going to wait for all my buddies, all of our homies, all of our best friends to come into this room. Thank you for the hearts, everybody. Thank you for coming in. Yes, I am clean shaven. I can't look like a hobo all the time. You know, got to be fresh for the Monday. I don't like how everybody has the case of the Mondays all the time, and they're not fired up on Monday. So I said, I'm going to get clean shaven and fire it up. What we're doing right now is talking about that fear. So we're living with no fear. I'm not afraid to shave myself baby face. I'm not afraid to have that beautiful baby face. Thank you for the hearts. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Yes, we're paravating here, everybody. Paravating. We're getting motivated on Periscope. Firing it up on Monday. We're not going to let our fears slow us down this week. So with that being said, I think I probably should get down to business because I don't like wasting people's time on here. Remember, this is about efficiency. Oh, thanks for the follow. That very much reminds me, you guys. Please, 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 if you find this useful, please share. If you find it useful. If you thought that my information was kind of weak, thought my information wasn't that good, don't share it. Alright, here it is. Starting off with fears, everybody. The number one thing to do about fear is to recognize what that fear is. What am I afraid of? You know, if you have an exam coming up and you're afraid, you saw my thing yesterday? Yeah, I party on Sundays, but we still got work done. So, number one, you know, we're going to identify what that fear is. If you have an exam coming up, are you actually afraid of taking tests? Or are you just afraid you're not going to do good, right? Thank you for loving my scopes, everybody. We had a fun party scope yesterday if anybody missed out. We had a nice little dab session. So, but I can't keep getting distracted. Number one, we're going to recognize those fears. We got to realize where that fear is coming from to address the fear. A lot of the times we get panicked about things and don't even really stop to realize what is causing that fear. You know, am I afraid of taking exams? Am I afraid of putting a pencil to a paper? Am I afraid that paper is going to eat me? Of course not. I'm afraid because I didn't prepare. If I prepared good enough, I wouldn't have fear, right? And that's the same thing for performances, you know, being on stage in front of people, you know, things like that, going out on dates. Maybe you're afraid of dates. Possibly you're being afraid of being rejected, but maybe you're afraid of not being accepted. Maybe you didn't accept yourself yet, so maybe that's your fear. So the point is recognize the fear so you can address it. Thank you for those hearts. You guys fuel me with those hearts. It's like my spinach, it's my gasoline, it's my dabs. Number two, the number two way to overcome fear is to pause and be grateful. We all know that that's the buzzword this year. Thanks to the wonderful spreading of TED Talks and podcasts and things like that, everybody knows to be grateful now. But that's because there's science behind gratitude. If you can really stop and visualize, what's up? Bam! That's right, we're firing it up with the BAMs, everybody. I love the BAM. We're fired up. Boom. Exactly. Thank you for saying what's up. We're talking about fear right now. And I'm talking about specifically how being gracious and expressing gratitude helps you overcome fear. If there's something you're afraid of, you know, maybe you're afraid of the future. My name is Steven. I'm sorry, I should do a good intro here. I assume everybody knows me because they can recognize the eyebrows. My name is Steven Herrera. I'm an ACSM certified personal trainer. I have a biology degree from UCSD. I've been studying podcasts for about 4 years on nonstop, 2.5 times speed, and I take smart drugs to keep me in the zone. But we're talking about fear right now and how to address fears. So the first step was to recognize fear. The second step is to express gratitude. Yeah, I'll always have new people, and I always got to come on hot to let people know who I am. Thank you for joining me, by the way. I believe I checked you out earlier. So let's continue on with the topic of fear. You know, if we can stop and be grateful and really connect with that gratitude, not just list what you're grateful for, but actually evict the emotion from inside of your soul. really feel that gratitude inside you. There was a time, just about a year ago, that I got into some very big legal trouble. And I was laying inside of a jail cell. And inside that jail cell, I was cowering in fear. So afraid. One of the top worst jails in America. Look it up. Clark County, Vancouver, Washington. I was in this jail, and I had so much fear. Am I going to get a bacterial infection? Am I going to get butt raped? Is this food going to taste like shit? You know, there's so many fears. But my number one fear when I was laying there was, am I going to ever see my loved ones? My friends? My girlfriend? That's all I could think about. And then I stopped and laid in that bed. It is scary. And when I was laying in that bed, what I thought about was hugging my girlfriend and being back with her again. And then I thought about how grateful I was to have family and to be alive and have food. And then, you know what? That was so powerful for me. It helped me get through jail. It helped me be alive in my soul even though I was dead in there, you know? Because I took time to be grateful, and that got rid of my fears. So I know that can help you guys get rid of any other fears you might have if you stop and be grateful for what you do have now. If that doesn't work, we're going to move to step number 3. I say steps, but these are all just different tips. Welcome, Valdez, who just in. Welcome to you. Any other new friends on here, please, don't be afraid to say hello. If you're new here, maybe express to me what kind of fears you might be having right now. What's holding you back? Maybe we can address that together. Thank you for the hearts and the BAMs. The BAMs fire me up. I love people with fired up energy like I do, like I got right here. Welcome to my room, man 17. I see you. We're talking about fear and how to address our fears. So right now, the next tip I got for you guys is hypnosis. If you guys have never heard of hypnosis, well, obviously you've heard of hypnosis, but if you've never heard of a medical version of hypnosis that addresses actual issues, whether it's fears or pain, ailments, the phenomenon behind hypnosis is real. There's been tons of documented science behind hypnosis helping people address issues like with fear. You know, stage fright, fear of heights, and maybe things like not fear. You know, weight loss, smoking cessation, dealing with pain during pregnancy. Hypnosis has helped people overcome with all of this. Look into it yourself. Just have an open mind. I'm not saying it's going to work for you, but it's another very powerful tool for overcoming a fear. So check that out. Maybe just do a guided hypnosis tape, like an audio, and see if that helps you out. Hypnosis has been very powerful in my life in overcoming some fears in terms of confidence. Next tip we got for you guys. I know you guys are still with me in the room. Let's not stop being animated together. Keep those hearts coming in. Keep the comments coming in. The next tip we have for overcoming fear is to talk it out. That's why we have talk therapy. That's why we have our friends. Let's talk to our friends about our fears. Don't just overburden them with fear. You know, don't be a bad friend and just be like, I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that, I'm afraid of this. Try to work it out with them. You know, try to see if your fears are rational. A friend is always going to help you overcome fear if they're a real friend. Talk it out. This is why we have therapists. You know, this is why there's therapy. It's because it helps you overcome fear, talking it out and addressing what the issue might be. And in terms of talking it out, that moves me to my next point, the next tip I got for you guys, and it's called NLP, Neural Linguistics Programming. Big words, but really all it comes down to is it's the kind of words you use in your life throughout the day having an impact and effect on the mind that results. If you say, I'm not good at that, I'm not good at this, you know, I'm not very good at working out, I just don't get it, I'm just not good at it. You know, you're never going to get good at it if you think like that, if you keep saying that. And in essence, that's what NLP is. It's how the effect of the language has on the outcome of your actual reality. NLP is huge historically. Tony Robbins is big on NLP. Look how effective that guy has been. NLP is huge, and it can help you overcome fear because it helps you reframe how you look at your fears. So look at the way you're speaking about your fears. You know, if you always are saying, I'm afraid that this will happen, your mind is going to take over and think that you're afraid of things. So try to get your mind to start talking in the positive way. You know, I'm not afraid of that. I can handle that. Positive talk, right? That's what it's about. Who's with me here? Let me get those hearts on this Monday. We're fired up. We're not having a case of the Mondays. We're having a case of the fun days. That was cheesy. That was cheesy as hell. I'm sorry. Next one. Next tip for you guys. Thank you for the hearts coming in. It makes me feel good. Next one. If any of these tips are you guys thought were useful or reminded you of something you could do, share it, please. Next thing we got. When you have fear, we know that there's a reason that fear is there. Fear is here to keep us alive, right? We have fear because we're afraid that the big bad lion is going to come eat us. That's why we have fear, or we have fear that our tribe, our small community, is going to kick us out. Except that doesn't happen anymore. We're in big cities. They can't kick you out really anymore unless you did something really bad. You know what I'm saying? And in that case, you don't deserve to be around. But because of that, we still live in fear all the time. And we need to realize that that fear is a primal thing. And it no longer serves us. And then really, it's holding us back from achieving our dreams. What are you guys afraid of? You know, are we afraid? Are you afraid of not being accepted? Are you afraid of not achieving your goals and dreams? Are you afraid that people won't like what you think or what you say? You know, are you afraid that you won't achieve something? Are you afraid to take responsibility? Because I do. I do all the time. We're all afraid. And if we take action on those fears, then the fears will be gone. In other words, face your fears head on. There's nothing to fear but fear itself, right? That's what it's the magic phrase is, right? And a lot of the times, that's exactly what it is. Fear is telling us where we're supposed to be going. You know, think about it. What is it that your dream job is? Or what is the business you want to create? What is it that you want to be doing? My guess is you're hesitating to do that because you're afraid you won't succeed in doing it. And you know what that fear really is? That fear is telling you to do it. That fear is telling you we need to deal with this ASAP. Because that's what your internal soul is telling you to go after. There's a good book on this. A couple of good books on this. You know, on fear and the topic of fear. I know there's one by Robert Greene and the rapper 50 Cent called 50th Law. Really good book in the audio format. I would check that one out and go for a walk and listen to it if you have fears. If you're afraid of something, go listen to 50 Cent. You know, the 50th Law, and go for a walk and listen to him, and I bet you your perspective and mindset will change. Great book. There's tons of good books on fear. Look it up. There's like The Science of Fear. That's another one. The War of Art is really good for addressing fear. These are all great books for fear. Tons of good ones. The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Another great book on fear. So there you go. Those are a ton of good ones to get you started. Don't say I didn't give you anything here with that one. Heart it up, heart it up. Tons of good books. So if you take action, I can promise you... Wow, that was incredible. Somebody just did the biggest, best parallel park I've ever seen. Man, it goes down live sometimes. I wish I could have showed you guys. He barely missed the car. I thought he was about to sideswipe him. But, the next thing I'm sorry I got distracted there. The next thing we got for fear, you know, after we take action, and if we can't take action because something is really, really holding us back from taking action on our fears, is we need to reframe those fears. And what I mean by that is, how are we looking at those fears? Are we letting those fears cripple us? Or are we looking at that fear like maybe we can grow from that fear? Maybe that fear can help us be a compass for what we should be doing. Maybe that fear is telling us that we're doing something wrong right now. You know, a lot of the times, if you reframe fear, you can turn fear into your best friend rather than your enemy. And that's really one of the best keys to life, is to use your weaknesses as your strengths. And if you can turn the fear, your weakness of fear, into a strength, then you've overcome fear and you've completely defeated it, because you've used it as your tool to taking over. So address what that fear is. I wish I had a good example in my head right now, but I'm trying to focus on navigating this treacherous hospital area, so I can't quite think of a good example. But face those fears. Indeed. The very, very next tip I have for you guys, believe me, bear with me, I only have 2 left, and we're going to be all done with these. And then I'll have nothing for you until tomorrow. But it's important I get to them, because fear is a terrible thing when it really takes over people's lives. It's important to me that people understand how to get over fear, because I've seen it incapacitate and ruin people's lives. My family lives in fear. None of them achieve their dreams. All of them live a mundane life, a life not worth living. You know, I'm happy they're alive, but they could be doing so much more. And that's because fear is holding them back. And I don't want fear to hold anybody here back. We're going to grow together as champions in this journey. And so that's why we need to realize that sometimes it's okay to surrender to fear. And I think that it takes a big person to do that sometimes. We all have fear, but it's really hard to admit that we're afraid. And if we can admit that we're afraid, we can take the power away from fear. And if we admit that we're afraid, then we can actually reposition ourselves to take over that fear. They say, I believe Sharon Salzberg is her name, I believe, a mindfulness woman, you know, one of those spiritual types of ladies, and she said that surrender is the bridge from suffering to serenity. So if you're suffering right now in some way or another way, maybe try to surrender to that suffering. Accept that you're suffering. Don't fight it. Just allow it to be there for a second as it is, and then maybe we can find another way rather than just trying to run away from that fear. You know, if we surrender and just say hello to you, you know, Friday I talked about overcoming anxiety, and one of the biggest tips I said in overcoming anxiety is recognizing anxiety and giving it a hug, saying hello to it. And there's no difference between fear, you know, because anxiety and fear are almost the same thing. Give a hug to your fear. Say hello to it, and then it won't be your enemy anymore because you have power over it. Allow yourself to surrender. And my very last tip for you guys on overcoming fear is subscribe meaning in your life. If you have meaning, if there's something more important in your life, maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's the vision that you're building towards the future, your business, your company, whatever it is. When there's something out there that means more than you, when there's something out there that you know means more than anything, for me, it's knowing that I'm putting an impact on this world. I don't have a big family, I don't have any kids, and I want to have an impact for the good because I used to live in depression. And now I'm a happy person, and I just want that for everybody else if they want that for themselves. You know, and I want to be here to do that. And so I'm trying to give meaning to my life. So if I have fears of getting on a camera, or I'll have fears that you guys aren't going to give me hearts, if I have fears that nobody's going to share, if I have fears that I'm going to do this every single day for no reason because nobody's watching, or if I have fears that I won't succeed, you know, because I'm worried about me and my ego, then I'm screwing up because I'm not thinking about the bigger meaning behind life. The bigger meaning is to spread love and joy. The bigger meaning is to enjoy the human experience. Think about that. Enjoy the human experience. Don't live in pain. I know this. You guys all know this. But we need to remind ourselves, and again, as all my friends who do watch me here know, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to make sure that you guys are reminded to stay happy. You guys are reminded to not let your fears and your anxieties and your problems overwhelm you. You're all human. You all have to deal with it. But that's the beauty of being human, is that we're allowed to and we're capable of overcoming these fears and problems. And we're going to do it together because it's easier to do things together as a family, right? We're all a family together here at Living Levitated. I hope if any of you guys didn't get to catch me on the fun side, if you watch my replay, I think it's still up. We did a fatty dab, double dab session yesterday. If you guys don't know what dabs are, go watch my video and you will know. It's a fun time. Thank you for watching, everybody. I love you guys. This is my only broadcast for today, but I will be back tomorrow, probably in the morning a little earlier, with that upbeat positivity that you guys all love, or hate, whatever it's going to be. Thank you, Hella Saucy. I always try to give you guys good tips. I don't like wasting time. I hate watching scopes when people are just doing dumb shit and they're not actually sharing. I don't hate it, actually. I love that people are just on here. But I dislike wasting time, and I feel like I would just never want to waste your guys' time. So, I'm just giving tips here, practical, doable tips, things that have always worked for me. I don't give out things that don't work for me. Yeah, dude, yeah, come smoke with me. I'll go down and visit you. That'll be sweet. Anybody in the Portland area, if you guys want to dab out, have a nice little smoke session and talk philosophy of life or what you're trying to overcome, I'm here for you in Portland. I'll dab you up. Check me out this weekend at Hemstock. I got a booth called the Dab Doctor. I'll be there selling dab appliances. I know this is a shameless plug, but I gave you guys all this information already. So heart it, share it. I'm going to be there, the Dab Doctor booth. Check it out. Follow us at the Dab Doctor on Twitter. Also, Living Levitated, that's what this is about, where we give you optimization tips on life. My name is Steven Herrera. Human optimization, fitness, mental coach, the whole shebang. I'm here to make you happy. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Desiree, Mark, if you're still here, I love you too, Mark. I hope you're doing good with your journey. Hella Saucy, thanks for watching. Anybody else on here? Love you guys. Fern, I see you. Peace. Spread the love. Make somebody smile today. Try to make somebody laugh. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you, Hella Saucy. You have a great day too. Oh, I love the hearts. It feels good. I'm just giving it a second to clear out and make sure I saved all my beautiful data I have here.